All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Active Everyday Discussion. Brought to you by laying on the floor with your feet up on the couch. Hey, it's a really good idea in your self-care practice to do things that make you feel good, regardless of what you think other people might think of you or what you might think of yourself. That's a negative bias in the moment. It makes me feel really good to put my feet up on the couch, lay on my back. Sometimes I do it for 5 minutes. Sometimes I do it for a half hour. Doesn't really matter, but I do it and it makes me feel better. Makes my lower back feel a little bit better. Makes my feet feel a little bit better. Helps me relax. I like being really flat on the floor. Anyhow, you got to do some things that make you feel good. So this is one of the things I'm doing. But that's not the theme of the conversation. The theme of the conversation is how you spend time with your coach during workouts and what's your mindset around that time spent. Is your experience in fear or is your experience in optimism? What do we mean here? It's really common. These are anecdotes. These are my experiences. And I've heard, other than training sessions I've had with people, these are things I've heard during conversations with people who have spent time with personal trainers. But it's really common. Also, this is like from 20-year-olds to 80-year-olds. Like, this is across the gamut. It's really common that I'll hear from clients and the feedback will be something to this effect. How many more? How many do you want me to do? How heavy? Do what? There's like shock. There's fear, excitement. There's disbelief. There's doubt. It's easy to see. It's easy to hear. You can see it in their body. You can see it in their face, the expression. Another example might be a little less generalized to workload, but more toward pattern changing. You want me to give up what? You want me to stop drinking what? These are interesting ideas, aren't they? Maybe you have experienced some of this before. So let's come back. Let's bring that back now from the client to the coach. I'm not saying coaches don't put too much work or a lot of work in front of you, hard work that's not easy for you to achieve. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is your coach is out to help you, not out to get you. Your coach is there to breed your success, teach you how to become better than you were before at whatever your goal is, not to defeat you or pummel you into a little scared, fearful person. When you show up to an hour-long workout with your coach is there helping you get as much done as you can successfully with good quality. We can define success, but good quality, good form, injury-free, safe, a little more than last time. All these different ways to interpret. They're there to help you. They're there to help you. And so when you let your own fears, negative biases get in the way of that process, you make your workouts harder for yourself and you hold the coach back from helping you make the exercises or the workouts easier for yourself. So what should you do? Well, we've had some conversations about negative bias, and we touched a little bit on communication to your coach. We're going to lead more onto that now. If your coach asks you a follow-up question about how you're feeling, or when you interact with the coach and they say, okay, I need you to do 20 reps, and you say, well, how many? Or how heavy? And they ask you, well, do you feel like that's something you can't achieve, or do you feel like that's too many? They're asking because they realize that you're probably interpreting what they've asked you to do in a way that's just not matching the scenario. Your quick negative bias reaction, your negative interpretation, your negative spin on the task that was asked of you doesn't match what you're capable of. You got to sit in that moment and say, wait, why is the coach asking me to do this? Why are they saying this many reps? What have I done in the past? Am I even capable of doing this? If I've been challenged like this before, how did I do before? What was it like when I completed this before? We hold ourselves back more than anybody, and we're capable with far more than we often allow ourselves to be capable of. If you have a hurdle, a challenge, a struggle, you can't do a pull-up, you can't do a push-up, or you're trying for a set number of pull-ups or push-ups, you haven't reached that goal, you can't squat below parallel, your back pain hasn't gone away, just name a goal. I'm just rambling on, yeah. Maybe it's because you still hold fear and negative bias, doubt, negative emotion around that exercise or that challenge every time it's presented to you. Well, that negative bias, we talked before, that gets in the way of you having a positive mindset and then being creative in your mind on ways that it is possible. And every time you're performing the exercise, the rep, it's harder than it needs to be because you're interpreting it as harder. All right, last closing thought on all this. It's kind of an interesting thing. Look at your face when you exercise. If you don't have mirrors around you, record yourself, watch your face. How much stress and strain and discomfort do you show on your face? Is it intense? You do a rep and it shows on your face. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying acknowledge what you're doing. You may find that you have a very strong reaction that you show through tension in your face that may not correspond with the magnitude of the challenge you've been presented with. You can do 10 push-ups. Let's use an example. You're capable of doing 10 push-ups. 10 push-ups might be a little bit hard, but if you can do 10, that means one's not hard. Maybe the 9th and 10th or something. Toward the end, it starts to get hard, but you can complete a set of 10. That tells everyone in the world 1 push-up or 2 push-ups is not hard. The earlier set is not hard. Well, if it's not hard, we've created a scale of magnitude, and you're showing it's extremely hard from your very first rep. How might that be negatively affecting you during your exercise? Have you decided in your brain, I suck at push-ups, these are hard, and from the very first rep, it's hard? Or have you said, okay, push-ups, okay, 10, okay, these are one of the exercises I suck at. They're not that good. I've never been good at push-ups, but I've been working with this coach now for a few months, and wait, every time we do push-ups, I do a couple of sets of 10, and they get harder. Every time I'm done doing push-ups, I think, wow, that was still hard. But I can do more reps than I did before, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I can do more sets than I did before. Hasn't any part of a push-up gotten easier? You got to start going there. You got to start, acknowledging, wait, these first couple reps aren't hard. I am more relaxed for the first few reps or so. Look at your face when you exercise. Then look at your coach's face when your coach exercises. And I bet you'll find that there is a correlation between how hard of a task your coach believes or interprets the task to be and how hard they show on their face versus you and your experience. It's a pretty good tell what's going on inside the brain by what's going on the outside, on the face. Hey, it's a game face, like a poker face. We've heard this in other aspects of life. but it's very real in the exercise world too. All right, y'all, I hope that discussion rings a bell for you, gives you some things that are creative and interesting to think about. I hope that helps. Stay active every day. We'll talk again soon.